I'm just gonna tell everyone. Hello, everyone. Let's see. Did it go? It says we're live, but I don't trust it. I never trust this thing. It's like you're live, but am I live? I've been burned before. All right, it looks like we're live. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the next Immortals After Dark live show. I have Jackie with me because Charles is a McDitcherson who is running 10 minutes late.
Oh, shame.
So rude. So rude.
I feel good because there have been other times where I've been late to events with Charles, so this time it's like, oh, how the turntables.
So rude. I think it's playing. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think the sound's on your end. But yeah, exactly. You get to turn the tables on him. So we're here to talk about the next 3 in the Immortals After Dark read along. And I'm just, y'all, we are in my space. Like, this is my happy zone, these 3 books to an extent. I mean, I do have my issues with book 5. I can count.
But I think book 5 being Kate's book.
Yes.
Sometimes, okay, the whole, like, Warlord Wants Forever being the first book, but not book 1, throws my brain off a little bit. But I feel like book 5 has to happen in order for book 6 to then happen. So, like, it's not my personal favorite, but, like...
It does. I mean, they're literally parallel timelines. You couldn't shuffle the order either. Like, you have to have Cade's book to have Sabine.
And I think Holly's a really powerful heroine.
I agree. I just think, like, it suffers because of Conrad being so good. You, like, come out of that book and you're like, oh, this was amazing. And then I'm like, God, Cade.
Conrad and Naomi's book are, like I feel like for anyone, picking a favorite book in the series is like picking a favorite child because so many of them are fantastic. Yeah. So I have 3 that are my favorites. And one of them is... Dark Needs at Night's Edge. That was the right Dark, I think.
Yes.
Conrad and Naomi.
Hello, Bailey.
Yes,
okay. Nicole, he did ditch. He's 10 minutes late. Yeah. Yeah. It is. It's definitely a very key element. Hi, Steph. Hello, E. Yeah, I don't know. This is just like we are in my element. Like, again, this is very much the Cut Me Open. This is my id series and on the whole. I
read these like in like November, October. So like as a refresher, I listened in audio to Dark Needs and then the Fated Maids episodes of the next 2 books. And one thing that they noted that I think is interesting also is this is like where stuff about like the accession starts to build. And so like while the focus is still very much on the core couples, there's a little more things that are kind of like bubbling up in the world that's really interesting.
I mean, in book 6, in Rides from Kiss of a Demon King, I have to look at my notes. So I'm like, I'm going to butcher all of these names. We get a hint of something that has to do with the accession, I feel like, with Thronos. Because like he's going to be involved. Like he rolls up and you're like, who's this guy? And then he's not, I don't think he's mentioned again until Sweet Ruin.
Thronos?
Yeah. Is he mentioned again before that, really?
Thronos is, wait, are we talking Thronos as in Melanthi's dude, Thronos?
I think, yeah, so it's later in the series.
He comes into play a little bit in Demon from the Dark because that's one of my other favorites because I love Malcolm so much.
Interesting. Torture Island.
See, it's not the Torture Island of it all that really gets me about that book. It's that he's like, I'm not going to go off on too much of a side tangent, but like I love a Scottish hero because they're big, they're brawny, they have lots of emotions that they don't want to talk about. Yeah. He's just at the beginning of 6. He's on Torture Island a bit. He's in the Demon from the Dark.
Yes,
that's right. Where there's plot things happen for future books. But I feel like what's his face? Malcolm from Demon from the Dark has like the essence of what I love about like a Scottish hero in historicals. Except he's the strongest person in the world, kind of like even in, I feel like in any and I just love him so much. I'm gonna have to
No, you're fine. Go ahead. No, tell us. We have to wait
like
time
in
till Charles
any
gets here.
paranormal book, like as the sequence goes on or series goes on, it's always like the next, like this hero is better than the next one. But like even in books after his, people are like, oh yeah, Malcolm is like, he's very strong. He's much bigger than the rest of us. And I'm like, yes, that one.
I'm very curious to see how I fall because I hated Torture Island.
It's rough.
I think reading it a second time, which we'll start Torture Island in the read along in April. Check your content warnings, everybody, before you go in. Get ready for some vivisections and just.
I couldn't reread that book.
A lot.
I like reread it and liked it, but I couldn't reread it in the pandemic. I DNF'd that. And it's not that I think it's a bad book. I just didn't have the headspace to.
It's a lot. He's a very hard to redeem character. And I read some twisted dark romance. And I'm like, I don't know about this one, sir. I don't know that we can roll with you.
Well, it's even interesting to think about him in comparison to like other Immortals After Dark heroes. Like I just finished McGreeve. And I think he also is a difficult hero in that McGreeve and Declan are both heroes who, because of torture or because of trauma, they are I don't know if I would say the word abusive, but
they're very alpha holes.
They are, and like their behavior towards their heroine is like really bad.
Yeah,
but it's easier for me. Like I can handle McGreeve more. Like right now, I had the headspace to handle McGreeve more than I could handle Declan.
Yeah, I can see that though, because McGreeve's still more redeemable than Declan. He's not running an entire camp.
He's not like,
I mean, I don't know what else to call it. He's running like a torture camp, basically.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's not the same thing, but like the parallels are there for real world comparisons.
Yes.
People running torture camps.
100%. It's a hard read.
Regan's really phenomenal, though. I love her as a heroine.
It's funny because all the hard ones, to me, have some of my favorite heroines. Because like a lot of people don't. Somebody was like they DNF'd Dark Needs, which is like a 6-star book for me, right? It's like my all-time favorite, and I was like, but I get it. If you're not into what I consider a borderline morality chain book,
oh, it is for sure,
because we're kind of on the edge. It's definitely like maybe not full morality, but like Conrad only.
There's at least once where he's going to kill someone, and she says, "Maybe don't kill them for me," and he's like, "Okay, fine." Oh.
Aha. We already are. You know what? Charles is supposed to be here in just a minute, but I think we could probably start discussing this about Dark Needs at Night's Edge. See, I think it discusses and explores the idea that one person is not all things and that you can be both good and evil. Like me, I'm just chaos. It's fine.
Relatable.
I'm just chaos. It's fine. Chaos doesn't always mean bad. Chaos doesn't always mean good. But I think, I don't know. I don't think it was necessarily, I don't know that he was evil. I think he just was tainted from drinking blood and brainwashing more than like purposeful evil.
Yeah.
Because he also just like wanted to go die, but they wouldn't let him.
Yeah. Well, and like he was kind of starting to get involved in the Kapsliga, I think, when he was 13. And so like to be involved with Dark Desires, I'm with you, not my fave. Respectfully disagree on Dark Needs, but also like there are some books that are just not going to be for you, and I respect that.
Just Dark Needs. Okay. Dark Desires, I get it. It's not going to be everyone's cup of tea. All right. Anyways,
but I think like considering that he like was a part of this, like, and I'm kind of assuming it was an exclusively male thing because at the time that was happening, patriarchy was worse than it is now. And like being involved in such like inherently, like it was about like hunting down and killing. Like is genocidal feels like a weird term to use, but kind of
it kind of is though.
Yeah. And so I feel like considering like from the age of 13 to 37, I mean, I think he was like 34. like it's not surprising to me that he's like got some trauma that he like has to work through in terms of like aggression, and then like being turned against his will and like having his own bodily autonomy, like not transgress, but you know what I mean? Like
it was a cult. It
was a cult for sure.
Yeah, he definitely like, I mean, this is morality chain and stuff. And I love a hero who does not want to be a good guy unless he has that heroine who's like, but I love you and I need you to behave. And he's like, so good. All right, I will stop bringing you bags of heads. Like, it's fine. Like, no heads and bags. Like, I won't bring you all your enemies and like put you on this throne of people I've murdered. It's the best.
I really like the moments in this book where she like reined him in and like he was on the edge. Yes. And it like she reminds him of his humanity.
Yes.
In those moments. And I like that.
I agree. I love Noemi immensely. I know, Laura, when you were reading it, she made a comment on Goodreads during her read about like Noemi feeling guilt about being murdered. And I thought that was a really interesting comment. But I was thinking about later that it was weakness to have been murdered. Yeah. But I think about that a lot because as women, we are constantly preparing ourselves for the inevitable event of murder, rape, attack by the other gender to an extent, right? Mm-hmm. Like that's the explanation for the fascination with like serial killers often and other things, is that it's that idea of like, I can prepare myself for this event. And I wonder if that, I don't know, I just felt that reflected back in Noemi in a weird way, even though she was murdered, unfortunately. Like she felt like she should have been prepared somehow to avoid this occurring.
Yeah. Well, and I think it even like, I'm kind of, an idea is bubbling up, but like there's not, I feel like that same expectation for men.
Mm-hmm. There's not.
Yeah.
I just think it's a very I mean, it is probably to an extent from the patriarchy, right? Like her view that she is weak because she was murdered, when actually like, no, maybe that guy just was the problem. It's shocking, I know, but maybe he was the problem.
I also like, they talk about this on the Fated Mates episode, I know, but like the fact that like every month she has to relive her death. And
which like what torture. Yeah. What torture that you have to sit here and relive your death every month. Not even once a year. Every month.
And the fact that like she has to dance before that happens, and like dance is something that she like loves and is very passionate about, and so like she's forced to do. Hey Charles.
Oh.
Talking about Noemi. I always want to say Naomi, but I'm wrong when I say that.
Noemi.
It's okay, whichever you say. I won't correct you. I know I had a coworker that was Noemi, so I like have it down.
I'm have it down pat.
I got this, because wanting to call her Naomi was a problem. Yeah, I don't. The idea, like, I feel like if you relived your murder on the regular, would you not be like, oh, that's where I messed up, and that's where I messed up, and if only I had done this and that. I just thought it was such an interesting comment, because like I was coming at it obviously as a book I already loved, so it was just very interesting to like see someone who like Laura has no idea, she's never read these books, come at it.
Yeah. Ooh, I also yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Totally.
I agree. That's totally what's happening. It's partially that. I think it's a lot of like just the idea that we as women need to be prepared sometimes to like strike back, or, you know.
And like we're responsible.
Yeah, like we're responsible for our own personal safety, not that other people shouldn't maybe attack you. Concept. I don't know. Groundbreaking.
Yeah. Groundbreaking.
We're groundbreaking.
Laurels for spring, groundbreaking. Sorry, that's Devil Wears Prada.
No, you're fine. Charles, do you have any thoughts already ready on Dark Desires, or have you been listening to us at all?
Desire. That's Noemi, right?
No, Dark Needs. Not Dark Desires, Dark Needs. I already did it, y'all.
I can't remember the titles. Like, I know which one. If you tell me the characters, and I'm like, okay, this is the one. This is Ridestorm, right?
Conrad and Noemi.
Noemi.
Okay, I'm thinking about the next two books. Okay, quick thoughts. Loved it, and loved it.
That's all I needed.
Loved it. Like,
If you didn't like this book, I was gonna have to cancel the read along because we can't be.
no,
I'm kidding. We're all allowed to
I
have
think it
different
was these next three are probably my favorite over I think the last two.
Mm-hmm.
The last two books, 2 and 3,
Were
I was
your
like,
favorite?
was not my favorite, but
Okay.
then these next group of 3, I love them all equally.
So good.
Interesting. You
Equally,
love Conrad
that's
and
cool.
Holly.
Of course.
I liked Katie Ann and Holly. I didn't like it as much as the other two, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I do think they're all really fun.
They are.
It made me like appreciate the older books, the other books that we read more. So I'm like, hold up. Wait, I want to go back and reread those now that I have read it further on in the series.
It's been interesting on my first reread of the series now, like going back, because I'm like, oh, there's Lothair. Like, it actually clicks in your head, like when Lothair shows up, because you're like, wait a minute. We gotta wait for a while for your book. But, you know, you're like, oh, he showed up way more than I remembered when I first read it. And then all the limbs, I mean.
All the limbs.
Like, I noticed the limbs even more this time. I was like,
the thing that got
everybody's
me
losing things.
was like when I listened to, and I like read them physically first, and then when I re-listened in audio, I remember listening to the beginning of No Rest for the Wicked, Sebastian and Catherine's book. And there's that part where Nyx is like talking to, I think, Sebastian. It's either Sebastian or Nikolai. I think it's actually Nikolai, correcting myself. And she's folding origami shapes as she's talking to him, and he's trying to figure out what's going to happen. And she's being super obtuse and not telling him very much. But the shapes that she's folding are flames and a dragon and a key. And there's one other one that I can't remember. And it's like essentially telling the whole story of the book in origami shapes at the beginning of the book. And then the book takes place. And I like totally missed it the first time I read it. And I was like, Cressley Cole, you bitch.
She plants smart seeds. And I know, like, one of the complaints we've had, like, some people have said is, like, it's just not enough of an overarching plot yet. And it's like, yeah, but I don't know. I feel like it's like that thing where you have to keep reading it. Like,
totally.
Some fantasy books, I feel like you have to keep rereading them, and then you just keep finding more and more little bits.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about these.
I like that you don't have to, like, it's not like a full-on arc, so you definitely, I feel like you could jump into any of these books.
I think you can't read Kiss of a Demon King without
reading the first.
Kiss of the Demon King is the only jumping in point so far that we've hit that you can't just start at, I think. You could definitely, I said in my vlog this week, I was like, if you're curious, like you didn't like book 1, maybe you were interested in a ghost, you could try Conrad and Noemi. It may work for you. And then, I think you have to start Dark Desires After Dusk if you want to.
But I think Charles' point about like you can really, like, I think the first Cressley Cole book I read was Wicked Abyss, which is like 15.
The first one I read was Shadow's Seduction. It was in the other.
That's like the worst one.
Yeah, I know. It's fine.
It's a gay for you book, Charles.
No, it's the other one.
Oh, Shadow's Seduction? No, that's the gay for you one. That's
okay, wait, no, that's the only one I haven't read. Hold on. What is it?
It's not a bad book.
Shadow's
Claim is a great writer. Shadow's Claim is a good one. I just read that one. Yeah,
Shadow's Claim is the one that I read first. So like there's a lot of jumping in points.
Yeah. And I think that's because it all to the point. Who said that it was hard to jump into, or that there's not as connected? I feel like part of that is because like it's not a Kate Daniels where like every book is mostly about the same character, so they all kind of build on each other. Like Cressley with each book starts a new story and a new couple, which makes it, I think, harder to get that more overarching plot. But I think it does make it easier to read if you pick up like book 15 or book 12.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was it Morgan? Megan Meowth Bader.
I think so, yeah.
She's not like, but she doesn't like alphas, and if you don't like alphas, this is not your series.
This is not the series for you.
Cressley Cole only writes alphas.
Yeah. This is I do think that it's nice because each story is complete, but you get little bit, like you're pulling out like little tiny threads and like weaving something together right now, and you don't know where it's going yet.
Yeah. Especially cool, like with the last two. I can't remember. I'm not gonna remember the titles. It's Sabine
Needs it.
and the one
Dark
before
Desires
that.
After Dusk and Kiss of the Demon King. Those
Kiss
two?
of the Demon King. Like, I think Izzy, you already mentioned that. Like, they both kind of take place within the same timeline, but it's cool
I don't have
reading.
to
And
see
you're
it.
like, hold up, wait, we were introduced to this character, and now like, this character has like almost like a concurrently running storyline.
Mhm.
I think in that one, the one before that, it had a tease for Kiss of the Demon.
Yes. There's
So
a whole
in-
chapter.
So, and yeah, Dark Desires After Dusk, like Rydstrom crashes his car to save Sabine in the road. So you get like a whole chunk. I don't have the next book. So you get a whole chunk of that next book. Somehow it's like the one I'm missing, but
Well,
you get a whole chunk of that in
Do you
that
have
in
the new
Kate's book.
covers?
I have the
even
old cover.
in
I have a
Conrad
mix.
and Noemi. In
I have
Noemi's
shirtless
book, there's a
men.
chapter that I think is in either Cade or Rydstrom's POV where they go into Errol's, the bar, and they're talking to Nyx. And that's where Nyx is like, if you could only have one, would you take your crown or your mate? And both of them say the crown. And so like, she's so good at like planting seeds for future Cressley, because that's like 2 and 3 books away, but she's still thinking about it.
Well, and then so on the crossover in Cade and Holly's book, that's the other problem is Cade and Cade Conrad. I'm like,
yeah, the 2 C's
names. I can't keep them straight.
Yeah.
In Cade's book, we also see one of the people from the High when they were trapped in the cave.
Oh wait, who was that? Was it one of the elves?
Elwyn?
Oh yeah. Right. Oh right.
Which I didn't. I mean, when it happened, I was like, "Holy shit!" We're just like over here reading these books, and like, "Holy crap, I know you! Holy crap, I know you!" Already, it's wild. You don't expect it.
Yeah.
So, why is Conrad and Noemi the best book of these 3, y'all? Let's discuss.
Excuse me.
Let me count the ways.
Did you just like step on Sabine and Kiss of the Demon?
Okay,
Listen, I'm already married to her. Back off.
No, Sabine. I'm married to her.
I'm in a throuple with those two. It's fine.
The beginning of the book, she says like I forgot. Rydstrom says like she's basically my B word, but
She may be a bitch, but she's my bitch.
But I was like, I'm sold. I'm sold. Like Noemi, I'm like.
Okay, but as a book on the whole, Conrad and Noemi are the best book. Character, Sabine is the best.
Yeah. Okay.
I love Kiss of the Demon so much.
Okay, well, tell us why you
book.
didn't like Dark Needs at Night's Edge as much.
They're both like all these books are 5. Like I can't choose a favorite. Yeah. Like I love them all for each different reasons.
Nyx is so amazing.
Nyx is one of my favorite characters.
I really wish Nyx would have like a short story or something.
You know the series is going to end with
Instagram did a like cosplay of Nyx for Halloween and made like 3 or 4 of the shirts, like the sexually liberated uninhibited tart. Like she made that and did like a whole photo shoot, and I was like,
I love it.
Amazing.
I need that shirt. I mean, I also want like the "Can I lick it" with a horn shirt situation for myself. So I deeply identify with Nyx's need to like touch the demon horns because that's all I want in my life. Please.
I don't know why they work, but they do. I don't make the rules.
Because they go like this. They're not like this. You know, like they're hot. They're like Saga, the graphic novel, you know? Like it works.
One thing I really love about Dark Needs at Night's Edge.
I'm gonna pull the titles.
I have them in our notes doc.
That's smart. There's so like in the first chunk of the book, I think it's in chapter 10, up to chapter 10, any POV that's in Conrad's POV is present tense. And all of Cressley, the rest of the book and the rest of Cressley's books are in past tense. But in Conrad's POV for the first 10 chapters, it's present tense, and it's very much like he's not really thinking deeply about things. He's not like kind of like looking forward to the future or back very much. Like it's really just like, I am rage, I am destruction, I am going to right the wrongs that are done to me, and then I'm gonna die.
Yes.
And it's like so like caught in the present moment that it's in present tense. And then it's when they're in the shower, I think. And he touches her for the first time, and it says, and I listened to it in audio, and Robert Petkoff like read it to me, and he was like, he felt, and that's when it switches to past tense, and that like the craft
it's so
there,
good. It's so good. It's the like it shows you like we were talking about his like evilness. It kind of shows you him leaving the like, I'm only here right now, and as soon as I'm done with this, I'm done. Like I'm leaving. I'm done. Like I'm gonna die. However that is, like he's done. Like whether he could manage to die, who knows? But he definitely was pretty set on it.
And he like starts to have those like lucid like thoughts about like, and even when he starts to have like more lucid thoughts of like questioning and wondering and like looking towards the future, they're almost all about her and like, I wonder what she's like. And
I loved their like talking about kissing scene. Like all of that was so hot. Like the fact that she made like a ghost lady work, like let's be real, that's hard. That's
hard.
That's hard. And this too, Cressley does use a lot of water, shower, baths.
In Dark Demon from the Dark, it has one of the best shower bath water scenes ever. Ooh,
okay.
So you were right, Morgan. She really, really loves a bath scene.
Yeah, I didn't think about it. She does. And I mean, the shower was like ever present in this book. I feel like they were constantly in the shower. Or it felt long, at least, if it wasn't multiple times. I can't quite remember. Yes, vengeance was his fuel. That's all he had left. Like he was basically a shell of a human. Vampire situation. Not really a human, but you know what I mean? He was just kind of a shell of himself at that point and really had given up. And I just, again, it's morality chain, and that's one of my favorite tropes.
That's a very interesting trope.
It's not always done well. Let's be honest. I think it's a hard one to do amazing.
Yeah.
And then non like super dark romances, if that makes sense. Like I feel like it has to be like kind of more of a dark taboo, and it can work really well. But I think and then paranormal, and that's it. Like some billionaire is not going to be like, yeah, I'm not going to do bad things with my life because you told me not to. I
feel like part of why it works here is like the reason he is kind of the way that he is he went crazy after his like bodily autonomy was like not transgressed. You know what I mean? Like someone went against his will and changed him. And so like after that happened, which fair, he kind of went crazy, drained a lot of people. But like since then, he's kind of reaping the repercussions of this because like he's literally being driven insane by all of these memories. And so I feel like part of why the morality chain I think really works here is like, it's not necessarily like to Laura's point, I think it's not necessarily that he's like a bad person, but the consequences of his actions are that he is going crazy. And the one person that keeps him sane is Noemi.
Hot ghost lady.
Hot ghost lady, man.
Listen, I love a ghost romance. There's not enough of them. It's great.
Please, okay. I also really love ghost romances, but I've read maybe 3. So if you have Rex,
I'm working on it, okay? Because there's not a lot out there.
There is a Lauren Smith one.
I have, I think I read that.
I read like a Kate something. It was like Halloween Boo, which was great. The Hero of the Ghost.
Yes, I read that one.
The Tenant by Kat Jackson.
Have you read that one? There's one. So I have one.
There's a ghost threesome. The ghost inhabits someone else's body.
All right, I'm here for this. I'm here for this.
I read that for the PNR readathon. It was great.
I'm here for this.
Oh, it's called The Shadows of Stormcliff Hall.
Yeah, I read that. It was okay. I didn't love it. Didn't hate it. That was okay.
There's an old school I got in like a mystery box that's like the heroine inherits a brothel and is taught how to run it by a ghost. And I'm like, tell me more.
I have one my mom read in the 90s that has a lenticular cover, so it moves, and I don't remember the title of it. I'm going to be reading it soon, though.
It sounds amazing.
I want to go find it. But yeah, she like described it to me, and somebody posted that cover on Twitter, and I sent it to her, and I said, "Is this the book you've been looking for?"
Oh my gosh!
And it was the book.
Yes, I love that. Ooh.
All right, hold on.
Yes. Okay.
That too.
To this point, I think the dichotomy of virgin hero and heroine who's like,
that's why didn't I put that in my notes?
I had reliable contraceptives. I'm like, she's so great.
Also, the fact that we have this like huge angry ass man who is like a virgin was so good.
It's so.
I don't always love a virgin hero, but I really liked it here.
So well here.
It worked because it did though. Because like she was from the 1920s. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And I feel like, you know, that was kind of a women's liberation era to an extent. Mm-hmm. And so her not being a virgin made sense. And then him being a virgin was kind of like, okay, cool. She's, you know, got the know-how to help.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, webtoon ghosts? Okay.
Hello.
I'll read that.
Okay.
Yeah, Laura, you and novellas are not friends. I basically told her that in her wrap-up. I was like, I don't think you like novellas, and that's okay.
They are tricky to nail, but that one works.
Yeah.
They are. I like them. I like a quick hit. Yeah, I love that he was a virgin. It worked so well.
Yeah.
It worked so well.
So good.
It did.
All right, do you guys want to talk about Cade and Holly, actually, I guess, in depth or whatever? I mean, whatever.
Can we just like talk about them briefly so I can gush about Sabine?
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
Not that I don't like the book, the next book, but
I totally forgot this was a road trip, by the way.
It is. They said
it is.
Fated Mates said it was like essentially romancing the stone, and Holly is like the thing that everyone wants.
Yeah.
Okay, I can see that.
Also, in Dark Needs at Night's Edge, aka Fave, there's established a moment where like I think like there's like some sort of like not like narrator, but you know, like that kind of like omniscient, like Cade's been obsessed with Valkyries since he first saw one as a child, and he just like thinks that they're amazing. I'm like, foreshadowing, Cressley. What?
Interesting there.
I love how in this one we got a human who was actually a Valkyrie.
Yeah.
I love that.
That was a cool angle.
Was actually a Valkyrie. Didn't know. Her glass. Okay, first of all, the glasses situation stressed me out so bad.
Yeah.
I was like, I would die. I would be like, "What do you mean?" Like, I don't
would
know.
Not survive without glasses or contacts.
Yeah, I just was like, I was so stressed out when like they had to go on the ride and she had nothing. I was like, no, I can't deal with that.
No.
Cade is regrowing his body parts. Isn't there also like there's a moment where she's like, you shouldn't be drinking right now, like you don't even have a hand. He's like, I have 2 fingers, I can pick up the bottle.
Yeah.
Cade is like he's the sweet frat boy. Like he's 100% like this frat boy you had in your class that was really, really nice and not like all the other frat boys. And like that's who Cade is to me. Because like she goes to his house, it's a friggin' pit. Like he's just the epitome of the frat boy bachelor situation.
Yeah.
I could see that everything was too easy to an extent, but like her struggles were more internal, I think.
Yeah.
It was more an internal struggle book around like Cade being enough for Rydstrom as a brother, being enough for Holly as a lover. Then the just the whole thing of like Holly figuring out she's a Valkyrie actually.
Well, and she also was very fearful, and not that like understandably so. But like a lot of her kind of internal issues were, I need to be able to control the things around me and the world around me. And like, I think part of that plays into her kind of having some OCD, like the whole like having to have things in 3s. Yeah. But also like, goodness gracious, I lost my train of thought.
Oh, you're fine. I mean,
but yeah,
yeah,
very much like is kind of like, and it's interesting, particularly after Noemi, who's like this very kind of like free, relaxed, like comfortable heroine, and then you go to Holly, and like she comes off as a very like repressed heroine,
Yeah.
and like I feel like a lot of her struggle is
she's literally sandwiched between two of the freest. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And like it's not even like, oh babe, like you need to be more chill, or like you need, but it's like being like comfortable. Oh my god, the lobster.
Okay. So
Oh yeah.
I will say that what sells me on Cade is when he takes her to eat and literally provides every single thing she can eat, like by calling ahead and taking care. Like I love that immensely. Like let's like feed me, please. Like take into consideration all of my issues with food or whatever and feed me. Like that's so romantic.
Cade is like a very supportive hero.
Yeah, he's not overly alpha compared to Nightstrom.
I think that works for Holly though, like because and like it's not like she has to like. I think her like whole repressed issues are more a factor of like her not like accepting herself fully.
Yes.
And so like
and being shamed for herself. Let's be real. Like if she got sexual with anyone, she got too into it and then was sexually shamed for like liking it. Like what? It's terrible.
I agree. Cade isn't my favorite hero, but it's like one of those things where like, is he my favorite? No, but I think like it makes sense that he's the hero for Holly, you know?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, he's not necessarily my fave, but I still love him because I love the demons and I love their horns. Yeah. Let me touch them.
Oh my goodness.
I am literally like Nyx with the horns. I'm just like, please, can I touch the demon horns? Please.
You know the scene where Holly gets drunk at Errol's and touches, is it Desh's horns?
Yes.
And it's,
and
she doesn't know, but that's essentially like giving head to a demon.
It's every time. I'm like, and he's like, you did what?
What did you do? Okay, this is maybe a few books ahead. I love Desh. And if you listen to the audiobooks, Deshazer, he's a storm demon, I think.
Yeah.
If you listen to the audiobooks, Robert Petkoff gives him like a pirate voice, like with R's and all, and it's everything.
And I hate it because you know he's never gonna get a book, probably.
Well, like my headcanon is that he ends up with Loa, who's like the voodoo gal who like has her own shop. And she like has the like top energy, 100% top energy. And like in my headcanon, like Desh is like kind of a gruff, soft switch. And
I can see that.
He ends up with Loa.
I'm here for this. I'm here for this. I like this headcanon. Yeah. Cade really, really cares about Holly, like immensely. Yeah. And he goes out of, I mean, when he opens the water bottle, like when she messes up the water bottle and like gets mad and just sets it down, and he like immediately grabs another one, just opens it for her without touching the rim and hands it to her. Like doesn't even ask, no prompts, like he just does it. Like that to me is like the epitome of being like in love with someone, because that's what it is. It's not doing the thing because somebody asked you to do it. It's just doing the thing that they need from you. Not always. Like there are times, but you know.
One thing they talked about on Fated Mates is that even like Cade teaches Holly how to fight. And like in and of itself, awesome. I love a couple that like fences or duels or whatever because it's fun. But I think one thing that Jen like said in the episode is that like he helps her create like a process of thought. And like when you're in XYZ situation, this is what you do, to the point that it like becomes rote for her. And like I can't speak to OCD, but I have ADHD, and I know for me, like when I am like in a position that's like new, it's super, super stressful to me.
Yep.
And so like the other thing that I love that, and again, Cade is not my favorite hero by far, but like I think what makes him a really good hero for Holly, who like has like her own neurodivergence and deals with OCD, is like he helps her create this kind of like mental pathway of like, if you're in this situation, you're going to be prepared. And you've trained enough that like your body is going to start doing what it needs to do. And so when she does have to face down, like, and part of it's also like she's a Valkyrie. And so like she has like some of that is
a natural.
It's innate to an
inherent
extent, yeah.
bodily thing, but also like when she's in the moment and like is shoved into that space, like he's helped her create those pathways to like not freeze.
Freak.
And I hadn't thought of it that way, but I was like, oh my God, like that, I would need that too. And so I was like, oh.
Yeah, no, I fully agree with you. Like that,
Yeah.
I can't, like, my partner has OCD to an extent, but like it's hand washing and that stuff, not like things in threes necessarily. Like, no joke, touches something and has to go wash their hands. Like, it's
Yes. Morgan,
So
I bet you're right. It was probably Desh.
and I was to say this is definitely who taught her. But yeah, I think that part, like seeing it and knowing the things to do was just, and knowing like, okay, I just have to prepare her and she'll be fine. I enjoy that.
I think this is one of the closest Cressley may get to a cinnamon roll. Like she doesn't get very close, but like
He is pretty close, but he's not quite. I mean, he's softer, a little softer,
but not that much.
Yeah,
he'd still bring you a bag of heads.
Not that much. He'll still kill you. He'll still kill you.
Every single Cressley hero would bring you a bag of heads if you asked. It's
absolutely.
Just,
even like
one does, but I'm just saying, like they all would do it.
Even her contemporary heroes, like there's not a Cressley hero who wouldn't.
I've not read her historicals. That's the only ones I'm not sure on.
I read one. It was fine. I should revisit it and see how I feel. But I love her Game Maker series.
I do too. They all would bring you.
I haven't read it yet.
Charles, they're
mafia
bosses.
Charles,
they're three brothers with trauma from their childhood.
So good. Book 3 is my personal favorite.
I haven't read that one. I really need to.
Oh.
It's on my
Feel
to-be
free to message me when you read it and freak out about it.
Okay, because my favorite right now is book 2.
I like book 2, but book 3 for me, again, crack me open. There's my it on the page. Just spill it out everywhere. Just let everybody see what I want in my veins. Sebastian is a borderline cinnamon roll. He is the other softest hero so far.
He literally just follows Catherine around to be like, what can I get you? Like a snack?
What do you need?
Capri Sun? Like,
yeah.
You need.
Yes.
Do it.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, Sebastian's the closest. What else? So, okay, in the Discord, one of the big takes was that the grand gesture at the end of Cade's book with Holly was not enough. He didn't grovel. He just gave her a house.
I mean, in the middle of
I get it. Like, I didn't think it needed to be a huge grovel. Like, it's already hidden. Like, everything Cressley Cole's books are like very hidden. Like, a really long grovel would have been like, okay, that would have been like another book. It could have been like a whole another part 2 book.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, to an extent, I think the fact that he like took care to make sure that it was like in line with her OCD was extra sweet.
Yeah, that's what I like.
And I like that he gave her time. You know, I do think sometimes giving someone space says more than like being up in their face trying to grovel. Does that make sense?
Totally.
Yeah, sometimes the person needs to be by themselves. They don't need you up in their face.
I think also because they're immortals, like if we wanted more groveling, it would almost be like something that would take up more time. Because I feel like when you live forever, like she's gonna forgive him at some point.
Yeah.
Because they're fated mates and they're in love. And so like if we had gotten more groveling, it would maybe be like over a longer period of time. And maybe that was just like something Cressley didn't want to do.
Yeah.
I can easily see groveling be like 500 years.
I don't love that
500 years later, still groveling.
By the way,
you don't like that she's pregnant?
No, I hate the vessel trope. I hate it.
Oh yeah, no, it's
I hate it. I hate it so much, y'all.
I didn't mind it.
I mean, it's just like this book has a lot of commentary on like the cost of being a woman.
Yes,
and like,
yeah, because we open with that
to be either bred or killed by all of these other immortals.
Yeah.
And like her ex-boyfriend is like using her and her brain to get money and to get Like it's
So some people in the Discord were bothered by the cheating in this book, but I didn't really even feel like it was cheating because I didn't even feel like they were in a relationship.
mhm.
I don't even feel like they were in a relationship. Maybe I'm in the wrong
You
here.
could like call it like emotional because like
It was more of an emotional
she's
relationship.
Yeah.
she's engaging with like Kate with Kate when she knows she has a boyfriend. Wait, even though the boyfriend turns out to be a douche, but like it's still kind of
Yeah,
it's still kind of emotional cheating.
yeah, a little bit. I just didn't care because like I just felt like every time Tom was that his name? Was his name? I think
I
it
can't
was
even
Tom.
remember his name.
It was Tom.
Came up like it was just like so fast and in passing.
Mhm.
It was just not like I don't know. I just didn't care.
It seemed like another way that she like I don't think that she ever loved Tom. I think that he was comfortable. I think that he fit into her world as like it was something that she
He was
controlled.
willing to conform to like her not wanting to have sex
Yeah.
or to engage in pretty much anything as a couple.
I think her relationship with him was a part of her controlling her world. And so to that extent, I'm like,
Yeah. I don't. I don't usually like cheating. It didn't bug me though.
yeah.
So
I feel like this one's not like hardcore. You're not always reminded of Thomas. It would
Yeah.
be different if she was like super in love, wanted to marry him,
I don't think she ever
and
loved
she's
him.
having all these feelings. Like then that would be like
it was more
it was
like
just
a
mentioned.
this is what I have to do to be an adult,
Totally.
to continue on this life path I think I have to take.
Yeah.
Not like this is what I want to do. It's not like that Krista and Becca Ritchie book I read that was like Addicted to You or something, and I feel like that one was full of cheating in like the first chapter.
First,
I read
that's bold.
Block Shop by Kennedy Ryan. That's like full on.
Is it? I haven't read that one yet.
You haven't read that one?
I stopped at
There's
for
so
Long
many
Shot.
content warnings on that one. It is a phenomenal book, fully like incredible, but also because the guy that she's dating is like abusive. I was like, I don't care that you're cheating. He's abusive.
Yeah, in the second book in that Hoop series, Block
Oh,
Shot,
Block Shot. You know that one has cheating.
that is full on. Like Kennedy admits it. Like she got a lot of flack because I mean that one's like full on. The other guy's like a really nice dude.
Yeah, you're
And
right.
she is like full on cheating, and the main hero does not care. That's a hard read.
Well, I read Long Shot and I was like, I have to space out my I can do like one Kennedy Ryan a year. It's a I want to read more than that in a year, but it's just too much. I can't handle it. Yeah, that's like Tom felt like a relationship of convenience, not like a real relationship to me. And I mean, I'm not saying it wasn't cheating. It was not okay, but I was also just like, yeah, whatever. I don't care. It's like you're in the background. You're fine.
For me, it was also like there's so many other things going on. Like they're being chased by fire demons over a small, like and
then there's like this haunted bridge. Like it's a lot happening.
Lady's Bridge. Yes. There were just like enough other things that were more like a big deal.
Interesting.
Exactly.
But I can see why that would be like something difficult for some readers.
Totally. Okay, totally valid opinion. I also can see why this book for a lot of people just like is not it.
Yeah.
I still love it. Like they're all still 4 or 5.
Chelsea's like they're all 5 stars. Fully agree. Cressley is amazing.
So, shall we talk about Rydstrom and Sabine? Shall we all just, y'all, Kiss of a Demon King?
It's immaculate.
Perfection.
Does her sister get a book?
Yes. She does. Dark Sky. And it's a cult book.
That's right. It's got the weird sheet.
The sheet. That's like some Heath Ledger in The Patriot style shit right there.
Yeah. Okay. I need Cressley Cole to write more Sabine. It's like I need straight on alpha females. She was just like, we're gonna do it. You're just gonna break to me at one point, and then you're gonna submit.
I love that she.
But then it flips on her.
That's true.
Yeah.
It does.
But I love that flip because she's like, oh dang.
She's like, shit.
I love that she's like so unashamedly herself.
It's so good, Bailey. Go read it.
It is. And like,
yes.
I feel like what makes her so special, or like one of the things that I think makes her very special, is that like women are told to be small.
Mm-hmm.
Period. Full stop.
Mm-hmm.
And like, and I think because of patriarchy, like that is, I think most heroines are affected by that to a certain extent. And like some talk about it more, some talk about it less, but like Sabine is someone who refuses to be small and like isn't like, she's not going to feel bad about it. She's not going to be like, oh, like she's like, this is who I am. This is the way that I operate in space. Everyone should be worshiping me. Give me your money, please. No, not even please and thank you. Just give me your money. Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah, bye.
And it's so,
I'm done with you. Get the
it's
fuck
heady.
out.
It is heady.
Yeah.
It is. It is. She is. I mean, I love a prickly heroine. She is definitely a prickly heroine. I love that she is forced into this shitty situation. Let's be real, that she doesn't want to be in, but she's going to make the best of it. Damn it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she has her prophecy. She's gonna have that child. She has her whole plan.
Yes, Tracy, I love that. It was so cute.
Yeah, I like the moment where she. I think it's like later on in the book where she has to save like the boy.
Mhm.
Some boy gets in trouble, and she's like, "Do I save him or do I escape?" And it's like a very clear, like she's like, "I really want to escape though."
God damn it, I gotta do the right thing though.
No.
Yeah, I think the way like motherhood is explored through Sabine is really interesting. Literally, yes.
That's literally her. That's it. She's here for herself, and that's it. She don't give a fuck. And some gold, some cool headdresses.
Sabine ends up being like a mother or a mothering figure in a number of ways, but like very non-traditionally so. Like she mothers Melanthe, her sister, a lot. And she mothers, I can't remember the name of that kid.
Puck?
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
Puck?
I was like, Runt.
I was like, wait, did my brain really
remember that?
And like very non-traditional like mothering, but like successful.
Yeah.
And oh, it's really delightful.
I love Sabine.
Yeah.
So
I just the way this book just starts, like it sets the tone, and you know that reversal is coming, like from the last book. You're just like,
this one,
so
these two, the way in which they end up weaving together for me was amazing.
Yeah. I like how everyone's so afraid of Sabine. They're like, oh, when she's telling the story to the prisoners, she's like, can you please shut up? I'm trying to tell my story.
Oh, she's so great.
And her creepy brother, Omor. Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think even just like not even specifically motherhood, but the way that like Cressley talks about family in this is really interesting because there's some like kind of found family. There's like the whole like motherhood thing. There's a little bit of like I can't speak to as much like fatherhood with Redstrom, but I'm sure that's there. And then also like there's like familial abuse almost with some of the stuff with like Omort and Melanthe.
Oh, 100%.
The whole drug.
We're really following like that whole thing of like, what is family? Is it blood or not? What does it mean to actually be family? And when do you leave family behind? I feel like to an extent.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh,
yeah, we did get that juxtaposition in this book too of who is the good guy, who is the bad guy here.
Well, and even like Rydstrom, who's like the good guy, like Rydstrom the Just, like he pulls some really nasty shit here. Like like it just is very much about how like good is perspective.
I think all three of these books are all about good versus evil. Yeah. What is to be good, what is to be bad, versus like, because like if you think about like Conrad, right, through Cade, who's like struggling to just be enough,
totally
good enough. Rydstrom, who's like, I'm a failure, I'm awful to my people because I lost my castle and my property, my crown, all that.
Laura, I love that. That's really good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
What did you guys think of the tablets? Oh no.
Oh.
I had feelings about the tablet.
They were interesting and kind of like I don't know, I thought they were kind of fun, kind of funny.
Mm-hmm.
I loved some of the interchanges between Sabine and Melanthe,
Mhm.
where like isn't there a scene where like Sabine bets something that happened and she's like, if I'm right, then you can't have sex for a year.
Yes.
Like some of the like
Yeah.
commentary between the sisters about like, oh, like, haha, you can't have sex because of the tablet. Like
Mhm.
that was really funny. And I also really loved the scene where like she uses the tablets to be like, oh, the sky is purple. Like I
Mhm.
liked that scene.
I liked that. I just
Cool.
feel like it confirmed for me how terrible Omort is, because he has
Oh,
this
yeah.
fucking tablet up
Yeah, he's
about
the
her
worst.
being a virgin, and I was like, sir, this is some chastity belt shit, and we're not here for it.
Well, and I thought, and I could be remembering incorrectly because, like I said, it's been a while and I mostly refreshed with the podcast. But my understanding was that she put that up as like a protection from
I think
him.
she did. I still, it just
Yeah.
freaks me out. I don't know. It feels
So weird.
so weirdly like
Puritanical.
chastity belts, puritanical, and I hate that.
Yeah.
I didn't.
I don't know. I don't know religion stuff, Laura. Sure.
Breaking of covenants. I liked when like Melanthe tried to make some comment. Yes, I love Hag. Also, headcanon is Hag with Thad. If that means anything to you in the chat.
What book is that in?
Thaddeus Braden.
Why is my brain? I don't know. I will, when I get there, I will be like, okay, yeah.
He is the sibling of the heroine in Sweet Ruin.
Oh shit.
Oh.
Mr. Lothair.
Okay. All right.
I want him to be with Hag so much. He's so good.
Okay.
Anyways.
Okay.
Yes. Hag is in this book, I think. And she's great.
Does she have a book yet?
She doesn't have a book, but she ends up working with Lothair for a while, and you find out that her name is Bailery.
That's right. Okay, because I was like, she's in another book, but I don't remember.
He's in Lothair's book quite a bit. That is in Regan and Lothair's books, yeah.
Okay.
He's such a cutie. He's just like a poor Southern boy.
Okay. I totally forgot about him. Oh my god. Why did my brain forget about him? He's just a buffoon.
He, like Cade, is like the not like other frat boys guy who's like sweet and like, oh, I was supposed to grab food. I just grabbed 2 packs of beer and power bars.
Good luck.
Whoops. He's so cute. What a guy.
Yes. I remember him now, and I'm just like, oh yeah, I can't wait. I'm so excited to get to Lothair. I feel like once we hit Lothair, we're like hitting our stride in the series.
I read that recently, and people are like, oh, everyone loves Lothair, and like, I didn't love the plot in this book. And I was like, okay, I respect you, but you're wrong.
I didn't love it on my first read. I'm curious how I'll feel on my reread.
Oh, really?
4-starred.
You 4-starred.
Okay.
Most of my first read was 3 and 4 stars. Second read has been 4, 5s, and 6. So I'm curious.
Wow. Okay.
Declan will probably still be a 3.
Yeah. Condoms.
Yes.
Oh, right. He also packed condoms. I forgot that he packed condoms. I mean, what else do you need? Beer, power bars, and condoms. Sold.
That's like Kresley's version of like a soft alpha.
Yeah.
Like,
that's
as close as she gets to a alpha mellow is like, I'll bring beer, power bars, condoms. Like, my house is messy, but we can chill here. It's fine. If you say no, I'll stop. Like, it's cool. Like, they have boundaries, but they're not they're still not alphas. They're definitely full alphas.
Yeah. Something that I think is fun to know about this book is Jenny Nordbach, who does Wicked Wallflowers Club, also has a book out about a year that she was a dominatrix in LA. But on the Fated Mates episode, she talks about how, like, when she was kind of creating her persona, she based a lot of it off of Sabine.
Which we all have to go harass her about this, by the way, y'all.
Yes, I'm gonna bug her about it now. But she said, she's like, oh, before, like, I would have like a session, I would be like reading Sabine's books and like not the locker room, but whatever their word is there. And she's like, yeah, I would just like read those, and sometimes I would just like quote Sabine during a session because like that's just like the energy that I needed. And I'm like, yes, that's amazing.
Absolutely everything about Sabine. That's amazing.
Powerful.
She is.
I just need more romances with more Sabines. Like, I need like my alpha. I need my alpha females. Like, I need them.
The closest I've seen in contemporary was Lush Money by Angelina M. Lopez.
Yeah, okay, so I would also say The Player by Cressley Cole. We have a slightly more alpha female heroine who I think could work for you in this capacity. She's a con artist.
I'm into it.
Okay.
He's part of the Bratva, the Russian mob, you know? Like, it's cool. It's fine. Games are played. Games are had. Things are done. Do the tables get completely flipped on her? Yes, absolutely at the end. And I would say, yeah, that one. That one maybe. And then, Lush Money 100% has an alpha female. I'm trying to think.
She's amazing. I'm looking at my Goodreads shelf, Bad Bitch Heroines, trying to like double check, see if there's any others.
Literally the one shelf I don't have. How do I not have the shelf on my stuff?
I would say, I don't know if you guys have read Mating the Huntress by Talia Hibbert. I would say she's close.
Yeah,
Talia writes soft characters, but she's not like she's not.
Did you read All Things Birth by Jodie Slaughter?
Ooh, that's
I feel like that heroine is kind of an alpha female. Like she comes into it towards the end. I can't say why.
Yeah.
Like kind of her finding her authority.
I can see that argument that she's kind of alpha.
No, is definitely alpha female.
Yeah. A book that I would say has the same, because part of I think the magic of Kiss of a Demon King is that it's two, like it's not like a game of cat and mouse, like it's two cats who are just like circling each other. Like they're very much like evenly matched for the most part.
Yeah.
And I love it. And I think a book that gets the closest to this would be Nobody's Baby But Mine by Susan Elizabeth Phillips. It is a contemporary. It is enemies to lovers. It's written in the 90s, and there's some, I mean, it's as a book written in the 90s, it's a product of that time, and there's some content that's a little sketch. But I'm going to be really quick. The heroine is a genius, and she's turning 30, as all romance heroines do, and is like, oh, I'm unfulfilled. There's this one thing I need to do to make myself happy. Again, all romance heroines turning 30. And she's like, I want to have a baby, but I want it to be not as smart as me because my life was hard because I'm smart. And so she decides that the way to do that is to have sex with this football player who's obviously, since he's a football player, very dumb. So she goes to have sex with the football player and gets pregnant. The first time they have sex, they use a condom that she provides she's tampered with, which is bad. But the second time, and it's the time that she gets pregnant, they're both aware that they're not using protection. So it's like,
it's fine.
Anyways, again, it's a 90s book. So she gets pregnant and he finds out and he's like, you're going to come with me to my house in North Carolina because I'm not going to have a child out of wedlock. And so they go. And so most of this book takes place in his house. And so it's like forced proximity, marriage of convenience. They hate each other. And they have like a prank war. Anyways, I will stop. But if you want this energy of this book in a contemporary,
I have this on my TBR. I'm very curious. The Rake-S, someone's saying.
I like Rake-S.
I don't think Would I Lie to the Duke by Ava Lee is she's not that alpha. But on the Rake-S, Charlotte Peckham, I almost called her Charlotte Steen, but it's Charlotte
also
Peckham. The first book in the Street series.
Yes. The Duke I Tempted.
Yes, The Duke I Tempted. That whole series, I feel like, kind of has alpha-ish females.
Totally.
I can't remember book 2. Book 3 is
Book 2 is an Emma retelling, with the guy
Yeah.
who's been in love with her forever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So book 2, I think she's less alpha, and the third one, she's like works
She's a
at
sex
the.
worker.
She's a sex worker
Yeah.
and like doesn't care.
Sex worker.
Also, Billy's book by Beverly Jenkins, which is Destiny's Embrace.
I think so.
She's definitely an alpha
Mhm.
female. Like she's a sex worker, does not give a fuck. Did not give a fuck that she has this baby she's taking care of and he doesn't know about it. You know.
Misadventures in Blue by Sierra Simone. It is about 2 people who are cops, so that may not be the headspace you're in right now. But the
But it's
heroine
Sierra
is
Simone.
literally molded after Gillian Anderson from The Fall, like silk blouses and all. So if Gillian Anderson is your kink, read that book.
Okay.
I mean, it's Sarah Simone, so like.
Yeah, it's like you can't go wrong. Like she always.
I think that she
delivers.
handles it in a way that is like
Respectful.
sensitive. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, yeah, it's hard. It's hard out here to find your like assertive female characters.
It's just like I feel like it's not what readers overall. I think the alpha male character is still like the biggest draw.
That's
'Cause you find
misogyny, love.
I'm not saying but just like looking at all the books that are published,
Yeah.
like most advertised like books are like alpha bad boy billionaire.
Well, I think
And, like,
most
the
people are
female-
comfortable with that.
Yeah,
Because of patriarchy.
yeah.
I mean, yeah,
I
it's,
agree.
it's all
It's misogynistic, but like
Well,
that's why I
think
think it's so
because, like,
rare.
culturally, that's what like we're comfortable with because like it's the space that we grow up in, and
Yeah.
100%.
It's like Shay mentioned with Fire in His Fingertips. Like one of the turn-offs for people who might read that book is like females are not really in Japanese society not supposed to like be, how do I phrase this the right way? Be like in touch with their sexual desires. So a lot of it's like, I don't know.
Well, and it's like you can tell she's like no, but yes, like it's not
Yes.
a like no, like uncomfortable no.
Yeah.
It's a I'm not supposed to like this.
So,
I
like-
don't think she actually says no.
like
Does she say
80s,
no?
No, she
90s
doesn't.
romance
She doesn't
style,
say no.
like no means
Yeah,
yes
a little
kind of
more
stuff.
of that.
Hmm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
Well, it's interesting because that can even be like a tool of sexual liberation if that's like
100%.
like
Yeah.
that's what that was in
Mhm.
the 90s, 80s, 90s.
Mm-hmm. But should we announce the next 3 books are a little bit different because we're
Yeah.
not going.
My kink.
direction
Yes,
in order.
Morgan. Hard
I love,
agree.
Oh yeah.
I love good consent.
Yeah.
As much as I love
I
my,
do like
I mean,
dubious.
I love some CNC. Like I love a good CNC.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people misunderstand Desperate Measures for the CNC in it because they don't understand that dynamic and realize that it's apparent that that's been in place for them as a couple. And if you're not warned ahead of time, you're going to be like, "Whoa, wait a minute."
What? But I feel like Katie Roberts, she handles like
She does
different
that pretty well.
kinks really, really
She
well.
does. She's extremely
Like it
good at
doesn't ever isn't. I don't think I've ever read a book that I'm like, oh wow, that was super offensive. How dare you?
She's a queen.
I feel like I love Katie because I feel like people be like, oh, like what dark romance do you read? And I'm like, I like to read Katie Roberts because I want there to be active consent on the page.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, she is my favorite for it because it is active consent and it's always well done. Even the ones that I don't love are still 3 stars.
Yeah.
I also love it. This is just a side note, but like anytime someone's like, I'm going to make you beg, I'm like, yes, active consent. Continued consent.
It's
Amazing.
It's perfection. So, yeah, we'll schedule the battle for Sabine in the Discord later. I'm going to kick everybody's asses. It's fine. But next month, we are on Charles's channel discussing our, I'm sorry, Laura. If I had known, I would have
Oh, you
warned
missed that? I'm sorry.
My sister did too, and she's like, wait, what's going on?
It's a rough one. So, yeah, next month is weird. Or this month is weird.
Wait, what are the Kiss of Demon King, Pleasure of a Dark Prince, Demon from the Dark, and is it the other novella one?
We're doing, because we're doing Fated Maid's Order. So we're doing the Warlord Once Forever. Because I believe in the Fated Maid's Order of IAD. I think it makes sense. So we'll do the Warlord Once Forever.
Once Forever.
Which is, oh my God, what is his name? It's the other Roth brother.
Nikolai and Mist.
Nikolai and Mist, yes. So it's their story. It's a novella. And then it's Deep Kiss of Winter / Untouchable. It is the same book, but we're only reading the Cressley Cole book.
Yeah.
But if you buy the ebook or you buy the book physically, it comes in a bind up together. You can't get it just as Untouchable. Which is, I don't remember whose book.
It's Danielle the Ice Maiden and Murdoch Roth.
Okay. So I literally can never
I've read this series too many times.
No, it's fine. I will be there probably in the next 2 years because I feel like I'm just going to be eternally rereading them.
Pretty
and
much.
then we have Pleasures of a Dark Prince.
That one is heavy.
Yeah. And then in April, we start Torture Island.
Torture Island. Okay, it's kind of miserable, but it's also bonkers and
It's Torture Island.
Presley.
And if you're curious, the Discord is linked in the description. Feel free to join us and come chat. We do have our counter going for Lost Limbs. It's pretty great.
There's a lot of limbs in these 3 books.
There was. So
both Conrad and
you would think the ghost book you wouldn't lose a limb. You would
2.
think.
Yeah, you
Wait,
would.
did he lose both arms or just one?
He just lost his hand.
Right, just lost his
hand.
hand.
Yeah.
One
But
hand.
Cade loses both hands.
Yes, he does. And then you have hands, eyes, and horns in Kate's book.
Yep.
And then you just have a leg and leg, foot, and Kiss of a Demon King.
Demon.
So in Kate's book, they were like, "Here's all the legs. We'll take a break. You can build it."
Oh, man. What year was it when each of you originally started the series? Let me check Goodreads.
Did Fated Maid start in 2019? Because that's when I started it.
I think so. 2018, 2019, somewhere around there.
I'm bad at numbers. I'm checking my Goodreads. I started in September 2018. I read Wicked Abyss, which was where I started.
What was it?
It's
Shadows
Beauty and the Beast retelling, and I love those. So I was like, yes, give it to me.
I feel like that's how a lot of people started. I know someone else who started like at book 10 or whatever.
I mean, I
and then
literally
worked their way
started
back.
at book 12, so
Freaking, oh gosh, Kennedy Ryan started with Lothair. She's like, I want to start with Lothair.
I read book 12 in 2013, y'all.
Oh my goodness.
But I didn't read the whole series because I read it for Vaginal Fantasy, which is an old book club on YouTube that I used to do and watch.
Mm-hmm.
So then I read Hunger Like No Other. I think I read the novella after that too, and was like, huh? Yeah, because usually it's
like because there's the one that she initially released, and then there's one that was like edited.
Mm-hmm.
And I've heard the first one has worse consent things, which
I lied. I read this in 2013. I read the first book, A Hunger Like No Other, in 2013, and then I reread it in 2020.
2020.
That's not right though.
I started last year.
They read it before.
Yeah, they read it in 2019. I thought
maybe I didn't reread it for 2019. I don't know. I know I started my reread with them. Like I'd read like 2 or 3. Yeah. Okay. So I've read the novella in 2013 as well. So there you go. 2013. And then I came back. I came back around in 2019. Although one of my reads is missing on the first book somehow. Whatever. And Charles, this is your first. We're journeying you through.
I'm so happy that you like the people that I like.
I know. I was like, if you don't like these books, like we have 6 months of this because there's no easy way to break this down. It's got to be like 3 books a month. Like,
yeah. Or it would take way too. We couldn't do 1 book a month. I'd be like, we need to speed this up.
That'd be like 2 years minimum.
Well, I was like, I don't think we can condense this into 4 months. That's too many books for people. Like,
yeah,
3 books
4 is a lot.
a month. It's already a
What
lot.
thousands of years ago with the initial novella.
I know, I love this. Hey, I started in 2013. I just didn't continue. I also probably didn't have the money in 2013 to buy these necessarily to read them as quickly as I wanted to, as I do now.
That's real.
I only read them because I got them all on Overdrive, I think.
Oh, okay.
I slowly spent Audible credits during Fated Maids.
Same. I'm got a couple left, but I've just been like collecting. And then I also am currently, my computer is sitting on top of the box that holds all of my Cressley Cole books.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll be back next month to talk about the next 3. I'm excited. I don't have any strong memories of any of them. So.
Oh, okay.
Oh my gosh. You started at the beginning.
Wow.
There is some wild ice sex in
Deep Kiss of Winter? Is that?
Fun facts. Be prepared.
Oh yes. Okay. No, you're right. I think. Yep.
Because he can't touch her because physical touch makes her sunburn because she's an ice maiden. So they have to get creative.
Yep. Yep. I forgot about that. Completely forgot about that.
I did too. And then on the reread, I was like, oh my God. How did I miss this?
That.
I forgot about that.
Again, we a lot of waterworks, but not those kind of waterworks.
Cressley, she does repeat things that she likes.
Look, all we need is Cressley to be good and to release Monroe this year.
I heard there was an update somewhat recently.
I heard 2020. They're saying this year, potentially. Someone updated something on our page.
And then in like July, Monroe comes out and we get to like do a live for it and be done.
Is Monroe the last book in the series, or is just
hopefully not? I need Nyx's book. Obviously,
Nyx has to finish the series, though. Like she cannot release Nyx's book until the whole series is done. It has to be the last book because Nyx sees everything. So how would we have a Nyx book? Like it just doesn't work.
Yeah, you have to end with Nyx. The way
that she would be so busy. She would just be like, "I'm getting it all the time." Like I'm busy. I don't have time to help anyone. Someone updated her Wikipedia. Well,
okay.
People need to stop.
People need to stop.
And I saw like rumors about why it's been delayed so long. Like she was injured and maybe sick.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I understand that authors want a private life, but also I need to know that she's okay. I just need to know she's okay.
Same.
Yeah.
That's the problem. So Monroe says 2021 now, but like I feel like that would just be a default update since it didn't come out last year.
Yeah, they just moved it to the next year.
It still said summer 2020 in like July, and I was like, Cressley.
Interesting. All right.
It's fine.
I really hope. I check her website randomly. I'm like,
just to see.
Well, I know my Twitter feed is curated in such a way that the minute anything comes out about this,
clearly,
will probably explode everywhere.
Yeah. That's how you know you've got a good Twitter feed.
It's key. If my Twitter feed doesn't explode because Monroe has a full release date pre-order link, I'm going to be very disappointed.
You just said that sentence and I was like, the serotonin in my brain.
I literally am turning my Audible membership back on because that's where I have all the other books to pre-order that book. For real though, it is it is what we needed last summer, which means if we don't have it this summer,
the way that book is teased at the end of, like, I just finished McGreeve and there's a chapter about Monroe at the end of that book, and it is emotionally devastating.
All right, well, we'll leave y'all on that note while we go more in the fact that we have no date. Thanks so much for hanging out with us tonight, everyone. And yeah, links to everything are in that description box. Be sure to follow Charles and Jackie on YouTube if you're not already following them, and elsewhere. Bye.
Bye, guys.